Yo, fellas, if y'all want to see me wife a girl that looks like this, or even this, tap in with my Instagram, man. My goal is 10K followers. If y'all active, I will follow back. Come on, y'all. I know we could do it, but hey, here go the vid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my story. I know you don't know me yet, but my name is KJ. KJ Killerman to be exact. I'm here to tell you about how I became arguably the greatest wide receiver ever. But before we do that, make sure you guys watch this full episode to the end so you don't miss anything. And also, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now you got the money, the cars, and the clothes. 3 typical things that come with this NFL lifestyle. Even though I have it all, it doesn't mean much to me. It's all about the journey I took to get here. Now I'm not gonna sit here and cap like I came from a dangerous neighborhood, cause that wasn't the case. My neighborhood was pretty regular. A bunch of decent houses, not luxury, but decent. And just regular neighborhood stuff going on. Both of my parents had jobs and worked really hard. The house we stayed in was the same one they bought straight out of college. And even though they were able to make sure the bills were paid, we did struggle a lot, which is why I grinded so hard coming up playing football and ended up earning a scholarship to play at USC. It was really my dream school, not gonna lie. Only because I would dream about cracking them South Carolina females. Now I'm the type of player who gonna work on their game when everybody is asleep. It was plenty of days where I would be out there in the field by myself, working on my route running. No quarterback, no pigskin, just me and my headphones, to be honest. Looking back on it, I can honestly say that's one of the reasons why I ended up chasing greatness. My college career was going rough as I would be a third string for 2 years, but one game during my junior season ended up changing everything. Now our best receiver was out because he woke up one day burning after clapping the campus stop. And this was bad timing because we had a playoff game against Miami in a few days. And coach had me getting extra reps in practice that week because I was probably going to be playing a lot this game. I felt good during the reps in practice, but I can't lie, man. I had no idea what was coming next. Now I know what you're thinking. You finally got your shot to play after being a backup and you blew it. But the complete opposite happened. Not only did we get a blowout win, I put on the performance of a lifetime. The first time I got an opportunity in the game, I ended up getting a tough catch to boost our momentum. And after that, I never looked back. Our QB was rocking with me and I ended up getting 16 targets. And what's even crazier, I had 16 catches as well. I also racked up 3 touchdowns. The meanest catch of the game was one I had over their best DB. Man, that head tap was so bad, people still talk about it to this day. I know it seems insane that I would have a game like this after only being a third string, but y'all know how politics go in college sports, man. I was good, maybe even great, but coach was just never rocking with me. So when I got my shot, I played the game like it was my last. And you can best believe every time I scored that thing, I was acting a damn fool in the end zone. I mean, they always say keep it classy, but can you blame me though? Y'all would have probably did the same thing if you was in my shoes. And now that I think about it, the nastiest catch of the game might have been the last touchdown I scored over 2 people. Yeah, you heard it right. I scored it over 2 people. And with NFL scouts watching this game in the crowd, and after a performance like that, and also making that catch, I think it was safe to say your boy was already league ready. A few days later, I was getting the same amount of media attention as people like Corey Cash. Man, that dude was the best player in college basketball, and I was right there with him in the headlines. Crazy. I guess you could say after doing what I did, I was definitely the big man on campus. All of the faculty finally knew who I was. And don't even get me started on the females. I know every time I walked by, they was imagining me whooping they shit from the back. To be honest with y'all, I really wanted to stay and show out for a full season. But having NFL interest after one starting game is unheard of. And after talking with my parents, I decided to forego my senior year and test my luck in the draft combine. Now y'all know that feeling that you get when you about to crack and she hella bad? Yeah, this was nothing like that. I had no nerves at all. I was ready to come in here and show these scouts I was the real deal. Now this upcoming draft was wide receiver heavy, and it was gonna be hard to stand out. So I had to make sure I brought out my A game during the combine. Now first up we had the bench press, and I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking this thing would be a cakewalk, especially since I've been bench pressing females all year. I mean, this should be nothing. It's the same thing, right? Why y'all not saying right? But anyway, I lifted the bar, and then it was go time. And at first, I was knocking them things out hella easy. 1, and then 2, and then 3. And then right when it started to get to that 4th one, I started to feel it a little bit. But we was still going strong, man. And then I got to 6, 7, 8. And by the time we got to 9, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, now I'm really starting to feel it a little bit. And then I got to 10, 11, 12, and just kept going. My goal was to get 20. And by the time I got to 14, man, my arms was feeling it as much as they've been feeling it since I started. And I wanted to get 20, man. I was at 17. I fought for one more at 18. And then I tried to get 19, but it was just, hey, I couldn't do it, man. I finished right there. But still, putting up 18 reps of the weight that was on there, it was actually pretty impressive. And it impressed a lot of scouts at the combine. Now next up, we had that infamous 40-yard dash. Hey, and I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. When I was like 5 years old, I got chased by this chihuahua. I ran the fastest I ever ran in my life. So in this 40-yard dash, I just thought of that. I ended up getting a perfect start, and I took off on that thing, I ain't gonna lie. And I ended up finishing with a 4.32. Not bad, not bad. I later found out that I actually had the fastest time at the combine. That was actually crazy. Up next, I had to show the scouts I had hops. I figured my ex would be good in this event since she was always jumping to damn conclusions. But anyway, just like that, I ended up having 3 good performances in the first 3 drills in the draft. I was so hyped, man, I had to let out a Dragon Ball Z type of celebration. And I later found out I also had the highest broad jump at the combine. I was going stupid right now. Now the next event would end up being that 20-yard shuffle. Every day I'm shuffling. Nah, I'm playing, but you already know. Your boy did good on the 40, did good in the broad jump, so we had to lock in for this event. So I hit a mean cut, hit another mean cut on time, and sprinted. And I ended up finishing with 4.09 seconds. Now, it wasn't the highest at the combine, but it was still like top 5, so we was still in good shape. Now, next up, it was time to do what I was actually here to do, and catch the ball. And on the first route, we ran a little slant, stumbled a little bit, but I still ended up getting the catch on time. Now, on the next one, I was running a little in route, got that mug on time. All right, we 2 for 2 so far. Then on the next one, I had to run a little comeback, and I had been working on this one. And the comeback, hey, it was success. Now we at 3 for 3. Then I had to run a little out route. You know, I secured that thing easily. And right now we looking good in this drill, man. I ain't gonna lie. Had to run a little post, and we ended up securing that. But during this whole drill, I was thinking to myself, man, do not drop a pass. That is something we cannot afford to do. And we was looking good so far. But on this one route, I ended up having some miscommunication with the quarterback. And that thing just went nowhere near me, and it was all bad. But I had one more rep to lock it in. It was a little deep route, and I ended up securing that thing. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely pissed about that miscommunication with the quarterback, but all in all, I had an amazing draft combine. And next thing you know, I was sitting in the draft room with my agent and Deion Sanders. and I was just waiting on that call, man. I felt like I had a good performance, and I was really taking a chance. And then next thing you know, I finally got it. Everything was moving by super fast. It felt like I was just at the combine, and then boom, I was at the draft, and then boom, I'm really sitting here with my agent about to sign this contract. And I was thinking the same as y'all was thinking. I was definitely iffy on going to the Patriots. But I mean, when I saw 17.2 million, I couldn't be mad at all. I mean, yeah, I was going to a team that was fairly bad, but at least I secured that bag, rhyming accidentally. But I ended up signing that thing, and there it was. Your boy had finally made it to the NFL. I had put in a lot of work. My parents ain't got to work no more. And now, the journey to me becoming the greatest wide receiver ever had finally began. I'll never forget my first time walking through that NFL tunnel, man. It was the first game of the season, and the energy in the crowd was definitely there. I was feeling hype. I mean, you feel that type of hype in college games, but hey, this was different. I was a pro now, and starting off the game, I was really looking for my first reception. But our QB was Mac Jones, and I ain't gonna lie, man. At the beginning of the game, this dude was throwing a lot of ducks. Well, actually not the beginning of the game. The entire game, this dude was throwing some questionable passes. I mean, I get it. It was the first game of the season and everybody had nerves. But I mean, damn, some of these passes was just way out of reach and I had no chance of catching them at all. At one point, I thought to myself, man, the quarterback at USC could throw way better than this dude right now. And on top of that, we was getting smoked 17-0. And going into the half, Mac Jones ended up throwing a pick. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I ain't think that was how my first half of professional football was gonna go at all. Somehow our defense ended up getting the ball right back, and then he threw another pick as soon as we got the ball back. I was honestly trying not to get frustrated, but it was looking like our team was finna be cheeks all year. But then, in the third quarter, we finally got a break. Mac Jones had finally threw a dot, and the receiver ended up taking that thing to the 10, and we was in the red zone. Finally caught a break. And then, on the next play, I would end up getting my first NFL touchdown. It wasn't nothing but a little slant route, and I came over and caught that thing easy. But I definitely took a shot afterwards. But man, I was so hyped about catching the ball, I didn't even feel that. I just got up and started celebrating like I was the man. It was a big moment for me. First professional touchdown. Crazy. After us being scoreless in the first half and me getting my first touchdown and our first touchdown of the game, I think we switched the game plan to just give me the ball and get out the way. Cause Mac Jones started targeting me a lot after that. Now the team morale was down, but I ain't gonna lie, man, I was still here trying to play. I ain't care if we was down by 50, I was finna play until the clock hit 0. And they was trying to get the ball to me as much as possible, but the Eagles was on Mac Jones' head. Now it would be the next drive where we were at the 1 yard line where I would officially solidify myself as a problem in the league. You see, it started off as me catching a little slant route, and then I ended up getting like a 30-yard reception right over their best DB. And this was also one of the most iconic moments in my career, because after the catch, I stared down the entire Eagles team. Not just one player, the entire team. It made it worse because the DB was talking trash right before I got that catch over him. I mean, I know I was a rookie and we was losing, but I wanted to show them boys, hey, I ain't scared of none of y'all. And I don't care what team I'm on. I'm going to get mines in this league, trust. But looking back on it, it was still crazy I did that as a rookie, man. Some people still talk about that play to this day. I don't never hear the end of that thing. But what also makes it more iconic, that was not the end of me going crazy on the drive. I ended up getting a catch that definitely could have been out, but I ended up getting my feet in. And that was 2 spectacular catches back to back. And you best believe I was looking for the end zone. After getting 4 catches in a row, I mean, you would be thinking the same thing, right? And on the very next play, I guess Mac Jones snapped out of it and got back to his regular ways as he threw another duck. But then we ended up going for it on this 4th and 10. I was supposed to run a post route, but I ended up changing it to a comeback, and I just seen a wide open space in the field and secured that thing. And then next thing you know, we was back in the red zone, and I had a 1v1 matchup. Y'all boys should already know I was looking for the end zone, and I ended up beating my man on another slant and got the easy possession catch to get my 2nd touchdown of the game. And not only did I have 2 touchdowns, I was getting close to 150 receiving yards for the day. I mean, talk about a crazy debut. Now, unfortunately, we still ended up getting killed by the Eagles, but I had a promising debut. And even though I scored our only 2 touchdowns, the future was definitely looking bright. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and tuning in to the full episode. And I ain't gonna lie, I told y'all I'm arguably one of the greatest wide receivers ever. So this definitely ain't the end of the story. I mean, we got my whole career to talk about. But until then, I'ma see y'all boys in the next one. Peace.
She gon' let me inside because she catching the vibe. We like Bonnie and Clyde. She be saying I'm different. I told her you never lie. Put my hand on